talking about the longevity of Derby City Dog Rescue. What I want to know is, with the cost and the level of exhaustion, I'd like to know what keeps you going. And, I remember one night you came in here and you had a full litter of puppies to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like brand new.
Brand new, yeah.
And you had them all at your house.
Yeah, we've had them at our house, and then at that time we had another foster that she kind of specialized in that, Heather Doherty, who actually runs Hand and Paw now.
Yes.
Yeah, so she kind of branched off, and she kind of focuses on that anymore. But what keeps us going is, I would say, it's the trips to the shelter, because last night we actually went, and we go every Tuesday night and take pictures of the dogs at Louisville Metro.
Yes.
And we try to find them rescue, and we take some dogs of our own. And going down there and just walking through the kennels is absolutely heart-wrenching. And knowing that if you don't do everything you can to help those guys out, that there's nobody else to do it, or there are people to do it, but there's not enough. And
right.
So if you don't help them, who will? So that kind of keeps it going. And it's tough because you struggle, especially, with fundraising and things like that.
Right.
It's a struggle because we're all volunteer. We all have regular jobs and everything else, and trying to raise on the upwards of $85,000 or $90,000 a year just to care for the dogs that are already in our program.
Right.
It's tough and it's taxing, and support wanes here and there, and ebbs and flows with the economy and things like that.
Well, people forget too, which is why I love to have Wagon Wednesday and remind everybody, every week, that there are numerous dog rescues out there in town. I think you can say something now. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hang on. I got to open your mic. Let's try that again. Go ahead, talk.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You know the old Verizon thing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
It is tough, and I love to dedicate 2 hours to a rescue, because it gives people, first of all, keeps you top of mind, which is really important, and two, gives people an opportunity to know there are many organizations that that all have the same goal. And I know that a lot of us are going to be at Humane Lobby Day on February the 3rd.
Yeah, and going with the multiple organizations too, it also makes it a little bit tougher, because all those organizations have the same goals, and we all vie for the same people.
Sure.
The same fosters.
Sure.
And that's why fosters wind up, moving from this organization to that one, because they see dogs and things like that. So we all have the same end result, the same end goal. And we work really, really closely with several rescues to try to, with Tyson's and with Hand and Paw and several others, to just try to share resources sometimes and things of that nature.
Rebecca and the Arrow Fund.
Rebecca and the Arrow Fund, and Tom and those guys. And so we work closely with everybody we can. But at the end of the day, everybody's still kind of fighting for the same scraps that are kind of left over.
Well, which is why it's important to have a big foster network.
Absolutely.
And anyone who wants to get involved to help the animals of Louisville. I mean, I read some startling statistics not too long ago. And at any given time, which blew my mind, and this was from My Dog Eats First, Bethany Buster Green. 200,000 animals free on the streets of Louisville, Jefferson County, at any given time.
Just around, with all the cat colonies and things like that are out there for sure.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, and that's another great organization too, My Dog Eats First. They're great people.
Mary and I were just talking about that. For those of you who just tuned in, My Dog Eats First is an organization that brings hot meals down to the waterfront in conjunction with Forgotten Louisville. Hot meals for the people and wonderful meals for the dogs and cats that the homeless have with them for companionship and for protection. And they bring supplies, leashes and blankets and beds and cat litter and all kinds of things. And it's just the both of them are such unbelievable organizations.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
We worked with them on a couple of projects and things like that, so they're great people.
Very cool. We're talking to Jeff Duff and Mary Randall. They're a wonderful bunch of people at Derby City Dog Rescue, and Jeff has a sideline I'm going to mention too, and we'll talk about that when we come back after Dirty Church Revival by Delta Queen, right here on WCHQ, Crescent Hill Radio, 100.9 FM.
Well, she said goodnight and she held me close. She had a red dress